Traveling to Bangkok to learn the fine art of wok cooking, as I am wont to do, can leave you feeling, well, a little hopeless. Massive jet-like flames roaring around, up and over blackened, massive carbon steel woks. It's such an intense cooking style. I met one guy whose manner with the wok verges on abusive. He destroys 5 of them a week. The goal, of course, is manipulating an intense reaction between heat and oil to produce smoke and speedy caramelization, both of which flavor the food in the pan. Never mind not playing in the same league. When we cook on woks here, we aren't even playing the same sport. That's what we're working with at home, and that is a problem. Real wok cooking create what's often called like a wok-hay flavor. American Chinese cookbook author Grace Young describes it as kind of the breath of the wok, flavor and aroma that combines charring and searing and grilling and caramelization all in one. That's wok-hay. Now, the problem is, across Asia, they use wok-style burners that can crank out like 150,000 BTUs. We don't have that at home. They don't even have that at home in Asia. Our burners generally go anywhere between 12,000 and 18,000 BTUs, which isn't even close. It's not going to create wok-hay. So I went to Bangkok to learn, is it possible to do it? And the answer is yes and no. I spoke to one chef, Gigg Kamol. He's the Iron Chef of Thailand. And he's been trying to figure this out his whole life. What he realized was that there really isn't a way to duplicate the intensity of the heat without actually having the heat. But then he found a workaround. So he called it saucing the pan instead of the food. And what he means by that is the sides of the pan are going to have much more intense heat than the food in the pan. So when he takes the sauce that is going to dress the stir fry, he pours it down the side of the pan. Now that does 2 things very quickly. The first is it allows the natural sugars in the sauce to caramelize, and that's going to give you a depth of flavor. But it also allows it to the sauce to very quickly reduce, and that's concentrating the flavor. So we can't replicate the conditions of wok-hay, but we can get close to the flavor by reducing and caramelizing the sauce that dresses the food. And none of that would be possible if we put the sauce first on the food, because it's never going to hit that high heat. So I'm going to show you how it works by making just the most amazing Thai Cashew Chicken stir fry. You can't get anything like it here, except actually you can get it in your own home. So we're going to start out by making a slurry, and this slurry is going to coat the chicken that goes into the stir fry, and that's going to help it crisp up. The starch in the slurry is also going to help thicken the sauce in the pan as it reduces. So we're starting with just a little bit of all-purpose flour, a little bit of soy sauce, a little bit of water, and some salt and pepper, of course. Whisk this together until it's nice and smooth. We're going to take chicken thighs, boneless, skinless, that we've cut up into like 1 to 2 inch chunks. Just toss it to coat. And we're going to heat about a tablespoon of neutral oil. And we're going to start off by toasting our chilies and our cashews. And this takes about 1 or 2 minutes. And you're just looking for the cashews to get a shade darker. The nutty creaminess of the cashews is coming out. That's great. You're getting just a faint whisper of some chili heat coming out. Wonderful. And you can see we're starting to get a little bit of browning on my cashews, and that is the sign that we are good. So I'm going to set these aside. All right, now we're going to prepare our sauce, which brings a ton of flavor to this dish, and this is what we're going to be caramelizing in the end when we pour it around the pan instead of pouring the food. We're going to start with a little bit of oyster sauce, deep, savory, umami flavors, as well as some sugars in it. A little bit of soy sauce for another note of umami richness, but also some salinity. Some Thai chili paste, also sweet, but also very punchy. And a little bit of sugar, again, kind of tripling down on the sugars here. And a little bit of water. Just going to stir this up. So we're going to heat about a tablespoon of neutral oil and wok. Let it just barely start to smoke. Once it does, we'll add half of our chicken. Again, we don't want to crowd the pan because if we do, the chicken is going to steam instead of sear, and it's actually defeating the whole point. It's going to cool down the pan. And again, we're aiming for a hot pan here. I see smoke. We're good. So we add half of our chicken. Let's half it down. There we go. Put you aside. I would just cooking for a couple minutes here. Move it around the pan, spread it out evenly. So the great thing about a wok is that you have tons of surface area, and that surface area has heat. So make sure you spread your ingredients out across the pan and let them really sink. Also good to not move around too much, and of course, stir fry involves motion. You are going to move around the pan. It's also good to let it steam for a couple seconds too, because that's how you're going to get the scaly. Okay, we're looking for the chicken to be nice and golden and just starting to crisp at the edge. Move the meat more as you get closer to the finish line. Make sure you get even brown. All right, we're good. We're going to set this half aside. Put our wok back over the heat. Add another tablespoon of neutral oil. And we can add the second half of our chicken and repeat the process. And don't be afraid to really give the pan a good scrape. All that browning on the bottom, that's flavor. All these ingredients that I have prepped around me at the wok, this is really important. Not just for the video, it's because stir frying and wok cooking in general happens really quickly. You want all of your ingredients prepped and ready to go. I declare you done. Pull it up, just transfer this chicken to the first half and set it aside. Now, with our chicken prepped, we are going to dive in and bring it all together. We are returning our pan to medium-high heat, and we're going to give a generous 2 tablespoons of neutral oil. Add some onion, and some garlic, and a little bit of heat for a pepper flake. So you just want the garlic to turn golden and the onions to start to mellow out a bit, and it should take maybe 1 or 2 minutes tops. And at this point, you really do want to keep things moving because you don't want the garlic to scorch. It can happen very easily at a high heat. Oh, that smells amazing. Rich and garlicky, you get all the onion action, you get the heat from the pepper flake. This is going to be fantastic. And it really does come together this quickly. I mean, that's the best part about it. Not just this dish, frankly, a lot of wok cooking. It just comes together fast. The longest part is actually just prepping the ingredients. All right, I declare these onions satisfactory. And now we're going to return our chicken and any juices that are in the bowl. That's a satisfying sound. Let this go for another minute or 2. And don't be afraid to spread your ingredients across the wok. Use the surface area you've got. That surface area has heat and you want to use that heat. And don't be afraid to crank up the heat under the wok because you really want to get as hot as you can. All right, now we're going to return our cashews and chiles to the wok and then just give them a really good toss. Now, the magic. This is where we replicate our wok hay. We're going to add the sauce, and we're going to sauce the sides of the pan forward right down. There we go. You can see it immediately sizzle because it made direct contact with a really high heat surface of the wok. It's sizzling, it's caramelizing, and it's reducing. That is maximizing the flavor, and that is how we're going to replicate wok hay. Give this another 1 to 2 minutes to thicken up. Again, the starch and the slurry in the chicken is now going to help thicken the sauce, even if it reduces the caramelize. Now, finishing flourish. Some scallions cut into 1-inch lengths. This is going to add a nice burst of fresh flavor to the dish. And we're just going to fairly wilt these. We want to cook them a little bit, but we want to retain their freshness. Oh my God. You are getting, I know it's not real wok hay, I get it. But boy, you're getting rich, searing, caramelization of the sugar. You're getting all those flavors that we want. I think we're done. All right, time to plate it.
Lots of deep caramelized cherry flavor.
It tastes exactly like what I had in Thailand. It's so good. It's so rich. You've got those caramelized flavors from the sauces,
but didn't just drape themselves over the food. They actually reduced, they concentrated, they caramelized the smoky char flavor that we want. It's right there. All with a pathetic burner. That's how you do wok.